Hello and welcome to Forex School Uganda. I'm Godfrey, and if you're new to the channel, kindly subscribe, like and share the video. Today, I'm going to show you a way that I trade the news, that I'm able to anticipate the outcome of the news, the direction it's likely to take, and it enables me to take my trades long before the news is released, which helps me to keep away from the whipsaws, the slippage, the increase in spreads that usually happens around news times, and my trades are usually safe. And I'm able to many times capture almost the entire move that is brought about by the volatility in the market that comes around news releases. Come with me to the chart. I want to show you how I traded CPI using price action. Yes, trade the news, yes, but trade price action and not necessarily the news release. You see, there's something about the news release and trading news when it's being released that is akin to gambling, and your chances are really, I can't say 50-50, the odds are really against you. Remember, there's a heightened market volatility during the time of news releases. And why? You know, news kind of triggers rapid price movement, and it's not easy to tell which direction price is going to take. It's basically guessing, or it's just random, unless you have inside info before the news is released that you're able to tell which specific direction price is going to take. But otherwise, if that's not the case, which really is, then you have to look at other ways of trading the news professionally, other than gambling it and thinking that you're trading when you are actually gambling it. Trading is not for gamblers. You need to know what you're doing and how to actually do it and when exactly to do it. Remember, news many times is already factored into price. And so the best thing to do is trade price action, but best on higher time frames. You need to have the higher time frame perspective when it comes to trading the news. The choppiness that you see during news releases is mostly affecting the traders within the lower time frames, but if you have this higher time frame perspective, you're more or less safe. Price action on higher time frames will most likely show you the direction that a market is more likely to take long before the economic reports are released. What you need to know is that price on higher time frame reflects probably everything that is affecting the market at any particular time. By the time you are thinking of trading the news when it is being released, you're basically gambling, and really you're too late for the move. The heightened volatility in the market brings with it randomness, violent spikes, increased spreads, big slippages, as well as whipsaws. To trade the news at its release, honestly, it's gambling. Real professionals take their positions long before the news is released and capture the entire price move while avoiding slippages. Let me show you how I was able to predict and anticipate CPI price movement and the impact, the kind of impact, not necessarily the impact, but the direction that it was most likely to take. Remember, it is, I can't say that it was going to, no, there are no certainties in the market. It's all about probabilities. But it's a way of anticipating with near certainty the direction that the news is likely to drive the market. And that informed my entries, and I was able to take them before the news was released. And that helped me avoid the slippage that happens during news releases, the increased spreads, the whipsaws that can easily spike in and out of a trade depending on where you've set your stop loss, which you must, because you don't know what direction that is going to take. And so without limit to your risk, your account can easily be wiped out. But I'm going to show you how I was able to trade CPI on GBP USD using pure price action, taking my entries long before the news was released, and having confidence in my entries that the news would actually bring in the volatility that I needed to drive price to my anticipated direction and eventually my tip. Let's go to the charts now. This is the daily time frame. I was first analyzing market structure using the higher time frame, and in this case we are going to be using trend lines. We are looking at the daily time frame. I'll use my trend line tool. So what I did was, just looking at the way price was moving, you can see that it was making a series of higher highs and higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high. Price is kind of ranging here. It's not moving with the same momentum that it was pushing up with, and it's ranging here. This is a daily. But this kind of ranging also has huge info that it's able to relay to you, that if you're able to decode it, like you would decode a barcode, you can tell for sure, not necessarily with certainty, but with better probabilities in your favor, where price is likely to go to next, and that's what we want to look at, and I'm going to show you how I was able to dissect it. I want to show you how I was able to time this entry and to take the trade long before the news was released, to avoid the slippage that comes with the news release and the whipsaws and the increased praise that so many traders suffer. So what I'm going to do is the fact that it's making series of higher highs and higher lows like we have seen, I want to join this low to this low right here. Okay, and be patient with me. I'll show you how, because I want all of them coordinated before I can think of, depending on what picture they show me as far as analysis is technical analysis is concerned, for me to trust them and be able to comfortably predict the next movement of price. So looking at this side, because price moved down here before it started correcting. So now with this leg, the beginning of this leg was up here, and so I'll check it with this same trend line, and I'll join it to this high here. May not make sense to you, but hold on, stay with me, and I'll show you why I'm doing this. Then also, I want to join this side. The fact that price is consolidating within this area, forming series of rather highs and lows in this area. It had made it had this low, this second low, and now this third low with two highs, and so we anticipated that this price would come up here to create a third high, and the fact that it was kind of moving in form of a flag to the upside. So we want to look at this specific price pattern on the daily. Let me zoom in a little bit more. And so what I'll do, I'll join this first high right here to this second high right here, right there. All right? So now I've joined this high to this high, I've joined this high to this high. Now I want to extend them to the right, and I want to see whether they give me a clear picture of both support and resistance. And so if I join these lows, because it had this low, and this low as well, but I want to be sure that these lows are aligning, so I'll join these two lows right here. So now I'm going to extend them to the right, and by that I'm not going to do it manually. Let's just activate it here. We go to settings, and we choose extend to the right. And now when we do that, we see that it's precise. Price bounced off here, and extending it to the right, it bounced precisely off the same area, marking this as a very good area of support. So if I extend this as well, I go to settings and extend to the right, and I see price is bouncing off precisely at the same line here, right here. So if I do the same here, go to settings and extend to the right. Okay, so I see that price is ranging within the range of these two lines of support and resistance, or let's keep them as trend lines. And now, if I extend this as well, after joining these two lows together, if I extend it to the right, I say, okay, you can see that precisely price is bouncing off this area, and this area. Couldn't be coincidental that the same trend line, rather that this trend line here is intersecting this other trend line from the downside at a point of at which point of intersection price is precisely bouncing off. Right here, price is bouncing off at an area of trend line intersection. Now, add to that another confluence. So these are two confluences that we have, but add to that another confluence of the candle closes down here and down here, creating an area of support, extending it to the right, you can see that we have three confluences in the same area. Price is bouncing off this support area, bouncing off this trend line from the downside, and bouncing off this middle trend line as well. Now, and the fact that it's ranging between these highs and these lows, we can have some confidence that price is likely to get to this high on the upside. Now, this was the kind of analysis that I had before news was released, and I was trying to find reason for me to take a position before the news is released, so I can be safe from the slippages that news release brings with it if I wanted to really trade CPI news. And so I had to drop to the lower time frames. So let's drop to the 4 hour. Now, when you drop to the 4 hour, the range clearly comes out. You can see that price is bouncing off these highs and lows, precisely contained within the range of these two trend lines on the downside and on the upside. Now, when we drop further to the 1 hour, you can see that price is ranging within this area here. And all we are looking for, because now once price is ranging and it's coming off support, this is more like a spring to inform you that the breakout is going to be really strong. So now it's up to you to time it, that whichever direction it's breaking out from, it's likely to break out with momentum. But now in this case, our analysis was showing us that price action is trending to the upside. The structure of the market was bullish. And so that's what we were focusing on, and now we are looking for a breakout to the upside. Now once again, let me draw this range box here. Remember, CPI was released yesterday at 3:30 p.m. and that's East African time, GMT +3. So take a look at this. So we are going to play it forward, so you can see what exactly I was looking for when it came to trading the CPI. So right here, price has broken out. So we'll drop further to a lower time frame, that's 30 minutes, so we can time it more efficiently. Better early entries than we would have gotten on the 4 hour and 1 hour. So now, taking a look at this, when you look down, you can see this was midday 30. That's 30 minutes past noon. That's 3 hours before the news was released. I'm talking in terms of East African Standard Time, and that's GMT +3 or GMT -4 for those in Eastern Standard Time. This is a clear breakout. So now, this is a clear breakout to the upside, followed by a retracement, and then we have a bullish close away from this ranging area. I needed this breakout from the range. I needed this retracement to retest the range, and I needed this bullish close away from the range to confirm to me that this break was real and it wasn't fake. Now, it was at that time that I decided it was good enough to take the trade. And what was the area that we were looking at taking our profit? It was at the top of this range, right at this trend line here. This was a time for one to take the trade much earlier before the news was released. Now, remember, when news is released, it's really volatile. And so you need to create some good wiggle room for price to oscillate fast before it moves to the upside at the time of the news release. And so you're not placing your stop loss exactly at the low of this candle here. No. You could easily be spiked out, taken out by the increase in spreads once the news is released. And so you want to create some room of about 1 to 2 pips to the downside. And so your target would have been up here. And so I took my trade on GBP USD on the basis of this analysis. So playing it forward. So right there, I was triggered in the trade, but the news had not yet been released. And right there, this is the time that the news was released, and it shot up in just no time to the TP, and that was a clean 5.8 R in the market for you know how long. These things move in with the volatility that the news creates in the market. In just a minute or 2 or 3, you're done. You wrap up your trading and you're done for the day. Now, so that was the trade that I took on GBP USD, and it was just on the basis of this kind of analysis. Now I'll show you how it appears in the higher time frames. And so, like we had seen, price was bouncing off this area of support and resistance, creating this kind of a bullish flag. And then before the news was released, price had been ranging here. And now on the lower time frames, we were waiting for a breakout, and this is the 30 minutes time frame. This was the breakout we needed. If I could just extend this here so you're not confused. So this was the breakout out of this consolidation with this bullish movement to the upside. Then we had this bearish candle retracing to retest this broken congestion box, and then we had a bullish close away from this range. And then so we are in the market already. We've already taken our positions, and we're not worried about the whipsaws and the slippage that comes around news time, because we've done our analysis, we've taken our entries, we're already in the market, and all we are waiting for is the volatility to come into the market and push price to our set TP. Now you can see that it continued to move to the upside, but that was you get some, you leave some on the table, whatever. Look, when you're trading the news, any money is good money. But the way that so many trade the news is really gambling, and it's counterproductive to the account. In fact, if you're not careful, such news can easily blow an account, especially when you do not have limits to your risk that are set in the market in the form of stop losses. So that's the way I was able to analyze the market, take the trade, and that's how it turned out. Thanks for watching. Look out for the next video that I'll be posting. It will be about another news trading strategy that I usually use, and in it I demonstrate to you a live trade. I show you a live trade that I took. I explain it right from the beginning as I was taking it. It was a gold trade, and so I show you my reason for entry. Anyway, let me not go into that. Just look out for the next video that I'll be releasing on the channel. I'll see you again.